This is Your Superpower by Hillesland. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? The guy leaned forward and let his long bangs fall over the frames of his trendy glasses. His look was pure San Francisco hipster. Black clothes, fog pale skin, hair gelled so it looked like artfully arranged hay. I was sick of this question. It must have been on some recommended list the speed dating organizers handed out. The power to change stoplights in my favor. His eyes lit. I had a feeling he would use this line on the next woman over. Mine would be flying, he said, like it was something original. Everyone wants to fly. I tried out a new superpower each time, fitting all the dirty dishes in the dishwasher, making no-calorie french fries, catching foul balls at Giants games. As the guy rambled on about his Xbox, I realized I had discovered a superpower. The ability to make time slow to a crawl. So far, every one of these guys had it. At the end of 3 minutes, the next man sat down. He was a weird one. Well, weird in San Francisco. Not so weird where I come from, down in the desert. Buzz cut, square jaw, pale blue eyes. His eyelashes started out gold and went white at the tips, making him seem wide-eyed. He didn't start any conversation, he just looked at me, maybe because of my strings of yellow beads and flowing dress in pink and red. Tonight, I was a hibiscus. Aren't you going to ask me what my superpower is? I said. Why do you think you can only have one? His deep voice cut through the grinding of the bar's blenders. I squinted like I always do when I think. Comic books, probably. Like the X-Men. Don't they just have one power apiece? Lighting fires or freezing people or whatever? Or maybe it's because if you had too many superpowers, that would be boring. Kind of like Superman. He could fly, bullets bounce off his chest, yada yada. Sooner or later, the villain has to come up with some kryptonite. What's wrong with boring? I tried to guess his age and couldn't. He didn't have any wrinkles, but his eyes, it's hard to describe. They look bleached by time or by seeing too much. A boring life is okay. I just never wanted one, I said. That's why I moved to San Francisco. Just driving the streets was like riding a roller coaster with glimpses of the bay and the bridges surprising you. He took a sip of his coffee. Some people are doomed to constant action. He wore a long-sleeved dress shirt, but it didn't hide his biceps, the breadth of his shoulders. Of all the men I talked to tonight, he was the only one who really looked like a superhero. The other guys? Maybe they could be a nerdy hero. Spider-Man, crawling on walls and building creepy webs. Or that techno-geek Batman, who really has no superpowers except fabulous wealth. But this guy could be an old-school Man of Steel. Someone who could really fly. I guess the constant action would depend on your superpower, I said. The bell rang. For the first time, I thought it was too soon. He was my last date of the night. I bent to pick up my purse, and when I looked up, he was gone. It was probably for the best, I told myself. He'd been interesting, but too remote. If I went on a date with him, I'd only get to know his alter ego. Outside, the right amount of fog had moved in, enough to soften the edges of the buildings, swaying the tops of skyscrapers so they glowed. I hopped a Muni back to my apartment, one story in an old house. The floors tilted badly, especially in the kitchen. If I dropped a bottle, it rolled all the way to the back door. The bedroom used to be a dining room. Only a blue curtain separated it from the living room. I went straight to the apartment and out the back. I had taken the apartment because of the yard. When I first looked at the place, it had been deep in unmown grass, with a dwarf lemon tree dropping fruit. I'd pruned the lemon tree and given it iron kellet, so its leaves were strong and green. I strung white mini lights over the herb garden and added a raised vegetable bed for sunsweet and brandywine tomatoes. The way the mini lights haloed in the fog made me think of snow, or what I imagined snow must be like, falling bright in the darkness. My real superpower must be the power to make anything grow. I'd raised rhododendrons at my old place in Palm Desert, where the weather was over 100 degrees all summer. Here in San Francisco, I'd planted lilacs, and though the winters were too mild, the summers too foggy, I knew that next spring they would perfume the whole garden. The green's borders were lost in mystery, the asparagus bed only feathery tufts, the nasturtiums a wild tangle with peppery leaves the size of salad plates, the purple Dutch iris vanishing into the darkness, leaving only their sugary scent. No, if I dated anyone, it would have to be superhero to superhero. No alter egos. Above me in the fog, I sensed movement. I looked up, squinted, but the fog was too thick. Something was up there. Or someone. Not a bird or a plane. But why have only one superpower? I spread my arms to the lifting wind.